it was reported the Patriots got better offers, but they did right by him. Albert Breer, very connected in the NFL, reported Cowboys offer was the only offer. The Cowboys were the only team interested. Jerry Jones has made dumb moves in the past. And a fifth rounder for a guy that was just picked in the sixth round and clearly wouldn't fit, it makes sense now why they moved him now. Joe Milton, that sixth round pick, I was shocked when he was drafted. He's not going to be a starter in the Cowboys. He just isn't.
Damn!
How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down the line? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And after the acquisition of Joe Milton III, a few Cowboys fans made the proclamation that Dak Prescott should watch his back, that Joe Milton III is in the building to take his job. I mean, it's not a day that goes by where Cowboys Nation, some people in Cowboys Nation are predicting the downfall of Dak Prescott. Am I right, Cowboys Nation? But anyhow, does this make me hate the move anymore? Y'all saw the clip that I put in the beginning of this video. Does it make me hate the acquisition of Joe Milton III? Hell no. I love the fact that we went out and got Joe Milton III. The ability he displayed in that game against the Buffalo Bills was very good. He definitely showed promise. Then I got curious as to why the New England Patriots were so willing to part ways with such a talented young player. So, you know me, I had to find out, Cowboys Nation. Living in New England, I am surrounded by Patriots and Red Sox fans. I asked a few of my Patriots buddies their thoughts about the Joe Milton III trade to the Dallas Cowboys. A couple didn't care because they're putting all their eggs in the basket of Drake May being that whole franchise quarterback with Joshua Dobbs being the backup. Others, yeah, they were pissed that the Patriots would get fleeced, would get swindled by Jerry Jones. So I assume their fan base is kind of split on the trade, Cowboys Nation. Then I tuned into Nesson's Foxborough Rush podcast. Nesson is New England Sports Network. It's a podcast that they got covering anything that's Boston sports, whether it's the Celtics, the Red Sox, or the Patriots. This episode had a pretty interesting perspective about the whole Joe Milton trade and why it was important for the New England Patriots to get him out of the building. So we're going to take a listen to the two clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. The clips that I got for y'all are a little long, so I ask that y'all rock with me because we got some real pertinent, some real effective and important information in these clips. So rock with me. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the Foxborough Rush podcast take on Joe Milton III.
And if Mike Vrabel comes in, everything he preaches is buy into the team, buy into the team. If you think you're a starter and you don't agree with not having a legitimate shot to beat Drake May and you think you can beat him, that's not buying into the team.
Right.
The buy-in is Drake May, off his sample size he saw from just his rookie season, which wasn't a full 17 games played for him, came in week 6, had success, didn't translate to wins, but executing the offense, and was a reason the Patriots were in games and winning games like they did later in the season as well, or just even to get to overtime like the Titans game. Drake May's a starter. It's his processing. It's how he's diagnosing offenses. It's how he was able to grasp Alex Van Pelt's offense. It's also how he was able to play with the worst offensive line, the worst receiving room in the NFL, and working with Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry, who are good tight ends in the NFL, good starting level contributing tight ends. So it's nothing against them. But with those two guys to be your main dudes, to catch your passes, for him to have success at the level, show off his athleticism, use it to his game and to his advantage as well. Drake May displayed everything from the small sample size you saw of we can build with that. Yeah. The reads he was making, knowing when a cornerback makes a split decision like he did in the Chicago Bears game, and once the cornerback bites and goes with the route, cutting towards the inside, has a crosser and Austin Hooper down where it would end on the right sideline and fitting that ball into a window only he can fit it. That's what you want in that franchise quarterback. Diagnosing what the cornerback is doing, not looking at your receivers, looking at the defense, and when that decision is made, you put the ball where your guy can get it. That's starting level.
So, judging from this clip, Cowboys Nation, the head coach and Mike Vrabel is trying to establish a culture with the New England Patriots. He, as well as their front office, have set in stone that Drake May is their QB1 moving forward. There was no competing for the QB1 position in their eyes, that automatically being a dead-end job for a hopeful quarterback prospect like Joe Milton III. Him wanting to contest for the starting quarterback position was not buying into the system that Mike Vrabel was trying to establish. If you don't know your role, then you gotta get up out of there, and that's exactly what happened to Joe Milton III in this trade situation. No hard feelings, and they allowed him to pick where he wanted to be traded to, even though it came with a caveat. And that caveat being that the Dallas Cowboys were the only team that was interested in Joe Milton III's services. Now let's go ahead and take a listen to the second clip that I got for y'all. In this clip, the podcast gives its honest opinion on Joe Milton III's game. This clip is pretty lengthy, but it's filled with knowledge of the trade, Cowboys Nation. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
The thing with Joe Milton, he had the massive arm, but it was always a question of what's his processing, what's his IQ, what's his decision making, and not being able to fully understand coverages at the college level, but fitting in throws just because he's simply more talented. But you see how that can translate to the NFL side, where that's going to end in incomplete passes, turnovers, and just not moving the offense down the field, which you need in a quarterback. There also was a report from the same article. Milton, being 25 years old, made it clear behind the scenes he no longer wanted to be sitting behind May. If he's making it clear he no longer wants it, it's one thing to say I can compete for the job. It's another to say behind the scenes, if it's teammates, if it's assistant coaches, if it's meeting with Mike Vrabel and going, look, man, I'm talented. I don't want to sit behind Drake May. I want to compete for the job. That's a coaching staff in the front office getting together and making that decision. He's making that clear. That, again, is why he had to get him out of there. April 7th, the players report for the beginning of offseason workouts. And Mike Vrabel asked about Joe Milton, said, we'll see where Joe is at April 7th. We know what he did, but we're going to see where he is, and we'll go from there. But if before the players get in the building, you think this is a risk when it comes to building a culture, and it's nothing against Joe Milton, but it is, Drake May's the guy. You need to have the buy-in from the entire team. Then you need to get Joe Milton out. You find a trade partner in the Cowboys, and you work with that. And that's what Mike Vrabel did. The harsh business of the NFL, the tough decisions you have to make, but that's what makes Mike Vrabel a great head coach. He doesn't let issues fester and become a bigger problem. He nips them in the bud, and by all accounts, did a service to Joe Milton by sending him to the Cowboys. You can go compete there. You could go be the backup and let the Cowboys deal with that. And if anything, in a better situation, better offensive line, CeeDee Lamb, they have another top 12 pick where they could get a Matthew Golden or Ted McMillan. He could be in an existence where he has a better situation overall for a backup quarterback.
Cowboys Nation, he went over this in this podcast. It was shown that Joe Milton III can't read defenses, that he has a difficulty in reading defenses, that he struggles with processing, something that people who hate Dak Prescott complain about. So you're telling me that you want more of the same if that's your gripe, right? Y'all know what? Let's get into it. Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. First and foremost, yes, I'm still happy with the acquisition of Joe Milton III. He is a cheap addition to the Dallas Cowboys quarterback room who is going to be our QB3. It's Cowboys Nation who's bumped this man up to QB2 already. Technically, Will Grier is the Dallas Cowboys QB2, so until Joe Milton III beats Will Grier for that spot, the thought of him being able to take Dak Prescott's job is a delusion some of our Cowboys fans love to theorize on. I feel that Joe Milton III is a step up from Trey Lance financially as well as quarterback IQ. He has the same arm strength as Trey Lance. He has the same agility as Trey Lance. I feel he's a better pocket present quarterback than Trey Lance, and he has a better fight or flight intuition as well. Trey Lance, he ended up going to the Los Angeles Chargers for a 1-year, $2 million contract, with Joe Milton remaining on his rookie contract for 3 more years with the Dallas Cowboys. So you're kind of saving money in that aspect. But right now, what I want to get into is this narrative that every diehard Dallas Cowboys fan knew was coming when we acquired Joe Milton III. It was the thirst to get rid of Dak Prescott by any means necessary. We all knew there was going to be those same people talking about Joe Milton being Dak Prescott's replacement, the ones that will spend their days clipping out Dak Prescott interceptions instead of informing Cowboys Nation about their damn team, the ones that only know to complain and not contribute on constructive solutions. We knew it was coming, Cowboys Nation. The thing is, you can get yourself pumped up only to be disappointed when you don't get what you want. You wanted Trey Lance to take Dak Prescott's spot when he couldn't even take the spot from Cooper Rush. You wanted Cooper Rush to take Dak Prescott's spot. Now you want Joe Milton to take Dak Prescott's spot. It has nothing to do with me being a fan of Dak Prescott or the Dallas Cowboys because I believe they're one and the same, aren't they, Cowboys Nation? As long as a player plays for the Dallas Cowboys, I will be a fan and I will support said player. If Dak Prescott left the Dallas Cowboys, I'd wish him luck. Peace out. Good luck to you, brother. But I am still DC for life. The ones who aren't fans of Prescott will try to make those who are fans of Dak Prescott feel dumb for their decision or feel less than. They'll come up with these elementary-ass names like Dakaroni or Daksexual. Why? To make themselves feel better, I guess. They'll come up with any type of scenario to ship Dak out the front door. It's not that he's in his 9th year of being in the NFL because people have been trying to push his ass out the door ever since the first franchise tag. But I hate to tell those people that don't want Dak Prescott as a Dallas Cowboy, hate to tell those people that Joe Milton's not your guy. Joe Milton III isn't who you want to lead the Dallas Cowboys right now. He's too raw, Cowboys Nation. No Diddy, but he is too fresh. No one's saying that he can't learn what needs to be learned in order to sharpen his quarterback intangibles and his football IQ, but to think that this young man is going to show out during training camp and force Jerry Jones to bench Dak Prescott is utter delusion. To think that Jerry Jones is going to pay any player $60 million to hold a clipboard is utter delusion. To think that Jerry Jones is going to pay a huge amount of money to a player that no longer plays on this team is utter delusion. I mean, I'm not talking about $9 million, Cowboys Nation, like we did with Michael Gallup. I'm talking about $90 million. Not one businessman that I know would sign off on such a thing, but it's easy to throw caution to the wind when it isn't your money or your investment. It's easy to play mutt on Madden 25 if you're using somebody else's credit card. Then I hear these same people say, I'm just keeping it real every time they have to say something counterproductive about Dak Prescott. He's inaccurate. He can't read defenses. He's a turnover machine. He's injury prone. He doesn't do good when the defense is in single high coverage, even though that's when he's hitting Jake Ferguson on the seam routes. That's single high coverage, but you might not have known that. It really makes me wonder, has any of these people actually played football? Has any of these people played on the offensive side of the ball? Were they a weapon or were they a role player? And have they ever played the quarterback position at any level? I'm not talking about the NFL or college, any level. But I get it, though. I do. I get it, Cowboys Nation. The Dallas Cowboys haven't made it to an NFC championship in 30 years. We haven't made it to a Super Bowl in 30 years, and we want results. We're tired of waiting around for a Super Bowl that isn't gonna come. If Dak Prescott can't lead us to a Super Bowl, then why is he here? If people would just grade Dak Prescott with the same type of scale they grade Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, they would come a little bit down to earth. But every comparison is either to a legend or someone that is in the GOAT conversation. If that's the case, then this man will never fulfill your expectation. If he's going to get compared to Hall of Famers and legends, then he will never exceed your expectation. So, to me, Dak Prescott is good enough to lead a serious NFL team to a championship. An NFL team that doesn't hesitate to bring talent to the team. An NFL team that are players in free agency. An NFL team that has an identifiable culture and a team that wants to see their quarterback surrounded with the best players. I mean, it seems like some Cowboys fans wants to see this team scrape and crawl just to get a title. They want them to do more with less. That's not me, Cowboys Nation, and I'm sure that's not a majority of Dallas Cowboys fans. But as far as Joe Milton III, I believe he can be a backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, but he has to understand that his time could come toward the end of Dak Prescott's current contract. Unless something happens to Dak or he's continuously regressing, Cowboys Nation will not see Joe Milton III on the field. The only time that we'll see him on the field is during garbage time, even though Dak Prescott somehow gets all of his stats during garbage time. But I want to warn Joe Milton about some of the fan base. Cowboys Nation can be relentless at times. If they don't get what they want in the amount of time that they give you, then you got to get up out of here, man. Forget what the professionals and the scouts think. If the court of public opinion is out on you, then the entire organization should be out on you as well. The best way that I can describe it is taking a line from Philip from the horror movie classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Hi, welcome to the snake pit.
This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. What do you think about the Foxborough Rush podcast? What do you think about what they had to say? How do you feel about the Joe Milton trade after hearing this podcast? Y'all know how we do it. We always talk about it in the comment section. But if you're digging the content and want to help the Angry Cowboys fan reach our current goal of 10,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and understand the role that Joe Milton III will be playing for the Dallas Cowboys, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdown, draft coverage, or Madden 25 or College Football 25 gameplay. Over here at the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel, I certainly try to respect each and every person's take when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys. When the name calling and the disrespect begins, that's when I start losing my respect for them. Everyone who knows the channel knows that we're an optimistic group over here, a group that believes in these players, and at the end of the day, this organization. Some people may not like Dak Prescott as the QB1 of the Dallas Cowboys, while others, including myself, still believe in him and will continue to support him. Prime example, I can't stand Jerry and Stephen Jones being cheap, but I'm still DC for life. So just know that I respect people's takes when it comes to the team, but I won't respect you trying to cram your beliefs of one player down my throat. I respect your disdain for Dak Prescott and the way you fan, but make sure you return that respect. Make sure it's a two-way street. You know what reciprocity means? But once I feel you're being disrespectful, I'll holler at you later. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.